Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 17, text 2. Vrisham mrणालधवलम् मेहन्तम् इव बिभ्यतम् वेपमानं पदैकेन सिदन्तं शूद्रताडितम् वृषं मृणालधवलम् मेहन्तम् इव बिभ्यतम् वेपमानं पदैकेन सीदन्तं शूद्रताडितम् वृषं मृणालधवलम् मेहन्तम् इव बिभ्यतम् वेपमानं पदैकेन सीदन्तं शूद्रताडितम् वृषं मृणालधवलम् Mataji. Vrisham, the bull. Mrinaladhavalam, as white as a white lotus. Mehantam, urinating. Iva, as if. Bibhyatam, being too afraid. Vepamanam, trembling. Pada ekena, standing on only one leg. Sidantam, terrified. Shudra taditam, being beaten by a Shudra. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The bull was as white as a white lotus flower. He was terrified of the Shudra who was beating him, and he was so afraid that he was standing on one leg, trembling and urinating. But the next symptom of the age of Kali is that the principles of religion, which are all spotlessly white like the white lotus flower, will be attacked by the uncultured Shudra population of the age. They may be the descendants of a Brahmana or a Kshatriya forefathers. But in the age of Kali, for want of sufficient education and culture of Vedic wisdom, such a Shudra-like population will defy the principles of religion, and persons who are religiously endowed will be terrified by such men. They will declare themselves as adherents of no religious principles, and many isms and cults will spring up in Kali Yuga only to kill the spotless bull of religion. The state will be declared to be secular or without any particular principles of religion. And as a result, there will be a total indifference to the principles of religion. The citizens will be free to act as they like without respect for Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. The bull standing on one leg indicates that the principles of religion are gradually diminishing. Even the fragmental existence of religious principles will be embarrassed by so many obstacles as if in the trembling condition of falling down at any time. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Patakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vrisham Mrinala Dhavalam Mehantam Iva Bhibhyatam Vepamanam Padaikena Sidantam Shudrataditam. The bull was as white as a lotus flower. He was terrified of the Shudra who was beating him, and he was so afraid that he was standing on one leg, trembling and urinating. Hare Krishna. So we are reading the 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, Punishment and Reward of Kali. The chapter is started with Parikshit Maharaj. He was near a place in Kurukshetra on the banks of river Saraswati, which flows towards eastern direction. That means even 5,000 or so years ago, the Saraswati river was visible. Now it is disappeared. We can only see in a small patch in Badrinath. And then again she mixes with Alaknanda and she flows underground and joins in Triveni in Prayagraj. So on the banks of the Saraswati river, Maharaj Parikshit saw a Shudra who is dressed like a king, and he was committing violence towards a cow and a bull, beating a cow and the bull. Hanyamanam anathavat. So the cow and bull, the Bhagavata mentions anathavat, that they don't have any protectors. So who is a protector of dharma? As Krishna says in the Gita, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. That whenever there is a decline in the religious principles, I appear to re-establish the religious principles. So Krishna doesn't even wait for the dharmic principles to be completely destroyed. Even there is decline in the religious principles, he appears. So Krishna is a protector of dharma. And now having lost Krishna, Mother Earth, who is now personification of personified cow now. So she is bereft of her master Krishna. Krishna's lotus feet association is not there now. Krishna unmanifested his pastime. So because of that, anathavate, she is bereft of the protector. And dharma in the form of a bull and the cow. So Krishna comes down into the material world, into the planet Earth, and he protects dharma. So Krishna gives his association to Mother Earth, and having coming down to the Earth planet, Krishna protects dharma. So in this way, Prithvi, Mother Earth, and Bull, both of them are bereft of Krishna. Anathavat. That's why they don't have a master. So such kind of anatha, natha means master, anatha means doesn't have a master. So utilizing this opportunity, the Kali personified dressed himself as a great king, Nripa Lanchanam. Nripa means king. So he is wearing the dress of a king. And this is one of the first time in this Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, somebody is imitating who he is not. A Shudra is imitating a Kshatriya. So that was shocking for Maharaj Parikshit. So he is troubling the cow and the bull. And Maharaj Parikshit, even though immediately without any inquiry, he would have chopped off his head. But as a king, if he does that, there may be a fault on him, because without inquiry, one should not punish, or without inquiry or understanding a person's greatness, one should not reward also. Especially punishment shouldn't be given. So Parikshit Maharaj is going to find out the details. So in the meantime, this shloka, second verse, is describing about the precarious condition of the bull. The bull, Vrisham Mrinala Dhavalam. Dhavala means white, as white as a white lotus flower. The bull was standing there. And because this Kali was tormenting him, Meghantam iva bhibhyatam. The bull was already lost his 3 legs, only standing on one leg. So naturally, if somebody is having a 4 leg and lost 3 legs, so it's a lot of pain, vepamanam, trembling. Even if a person walks with one leg, all the weights in one leg, so naturally body trembles. So the bull is walking with one leg, moving with one leg, so it's trembling. Mehantam, and because of the fear of this Kali personified who is beating him, he is actually urinating because of fear. Bibhyatam, being too afraid. So Dharma is getting scared, and this bull is having urinating also refers to its diseased condition. So the Dharma is in a diseased condition, the bull is in diseased condition, and out of fear and having a bodily difficulties, trembling and shivering out of fear, Pada ekena, standing on only one leg, Sidantam, terrified. Sidantam, terrified, Shudra Taditam, because of beaten by the this Kali. So now the scenario of this particular bull getting trouble, and the next verse is talking about the cow getting trouble, Mother Earth. Srila Prabhupada in the purport writes about the exact problem what we are facing in our practical life. How in this age of Kali, even the people who are supposed to protect the Dharma, they will be the cause of its destruction. Yeah, Kshatriya, who is supposed to protect the cow, now he is troubling the principles of Dharma, the bull and the cow. So, the age of Kali, it is not that this is some kind of bull and cow. It happened thousands of years before. What is foretold in the Srimad Bhagavatam is happening even in a more organized way now. And the one way is to see this. Parikshit Maharaj was not able to tolerate, and he was about to take action with the proper intelligence and inquiry. He did not do things sentimentally. He used his intelligence and discrimination and inquiry, and he was controlling the situation. Being the time of Kali, we are in the age of Kali, is his age. So, being in his age, Parikshit Maharaj was giving fear to Kali personified. Kali was trying to make the Dharma, the bull personified, fearful. But Parikshit Maharaj did not leave. This is his age, Kali's age, so I can't do anything. No. In fact, he gave fear to the Kali personified. So Srila Prabhupada writes that in a very optimistic way. So he even though this is in such a negative situation, the negative time, but Prabhupada is very optimistic. He is saying that so if we follow in the footsteps of Parikshit Maharaj, the leaders of the society understand Parikshit Maharaj's footsteps. Even right now also, the age of Kali can be checked. The age of Kali, the Kali personified can be kept in bay by following the activities of Parikshit Maharaj. So that is the mood. So single-handedly Srila Prabhupada counteracted the age of Kali by going to the den of Kali, we say. So that is in one sense legacy Prabhupada left for the devotees to take. So in the troublesome place, we say that the best attack is attacking back. Not defending, but attack is the best defense, isn't it? So like that, if you are becoming very fearful and in a negative sense that we are in the age of Kali, what to do like that. Rather than that, go and face it, So that is the mood Srila Prabhupada, gave, and that is the mood Parikshit Maharaj exhibiting. He did not say that this is the age of Kali, so I can't do anything about it. Pandavas, they saw the age of Kali. Okay, this is our stage. Let me go to Krishna, and they followed Krishna's footsteps. So they went back to Godhead. So Pandavas, they retired timely because it's not that they were fearful of Kali. Rather, they become disgusted with this age of Kali, and they had so much affection for Krishna. So out of affection and out of eagerness to not to miss Krishna, they left this planet. But Parishit Maharaj, he has not performed any service to Krishna. So he did not become very pessimistic. Okay, Krishna is not there. In fact, Parishit Maharaj has seen Krishna in the womb. So Parishit Maharaj did not take up, that let me also follow my grandfather's footsteps, my father's footsteps. But if he actually did a job, he did a service to Krishna by defending the Kali. So that is a legacy of the great kings and the great acharyas. Srila Prabhupada, even though he was in such a negative atmosphere of this, what to speak of outside India, even within India also, even within the religious organization where Prabhupada belongs, there itself is the influence of Kali was there. Such a very treacherous way. But in spite of all the negative atmosphere all around, but he was fighting like in the spirit of Parikshit Maharaj. And in fact, he is calling that continue the fight. So the negative atmosphere can be seen as a positive. In fact, even though this age of Kali is terrifying and very fearsome, but the Shastras also glorify Kali. Kalim sabhajayante arya. That even the demigods are waiting for take birth in the age of Kali. One time there is an interesting episode that many disciples went to Vyasadeva and they wanted to hear from him. So Vyasadeva told them to wait on the banks of river Ganga. So Vyasadeva went to the Ganga and he was taking bath. So first time he took bath and he uttered that Kali Sadhu. So all glories to Kali, he said. And all the disciples got surprised. What is this? Our Gurudev Vyasadeva is glorifying Kali. So then again he took another bath and he uttered the word Stri Sadhu. The women are glorified. Again he took bath and he uttered a word Shudra Sadhu. So then he came back and all the disciples are very curious. We wanted to hear from you, but the way you spoke is you are speaking about Kali Sadhu, Shudra Sadhu, Stri Sadhu. What is the meaning behind this? So then Vyasadeva started explaining that I glorified the Shudra because in the Varnashrama principles, for the Brahmanas are the most maximum amount of rules and regulations are there. Many times nowadays, again as influence of Kali, the Brahmanas who are not actually trying to lead a life of a Brahminical lifestyle, they have been targeted by the so-called intelligent class of people who are actually Shudras. So it is like a vanchita vanchaka. So sometime in some places they cut Brahmana shikha, they cut Brahman thread of the Brahmins, thinking that they are taking revenge of Brahmanas. But neither they are actually targeting the Brahmanas because many of them are fallen already. And these people think that they are transforming the society and actually they are further causing degradation to the society. So nevertheless, for a Brahmana, the revenge against Brahmanas is done because they think that Brahmanas are subjugating the others, they are tormenting others, they think themselves superior. But actually speaking, who is a Brahmana? Brahmana means one who voluntarily puts himself under the rules and regulation of the Shastras, voluntarily giving up his own independence. It's called a Brahmana. So that's why a Brahmana means one who is governed by the Shastra. And those who cannot govern by the Shastra, those who are not voluntarily accepting themselves to be governed by the Shastra, then they will be governed by the Shastra, by the Kshatriya rank of administrator, isn't it? So that's why when the king is coronated, who coronates the king? The Brahmana, those Kula Guru, he will coronate the king. So when he is announcing the coronation to the general public, the Brahmana priest would announce to the general public, here behold your king. So even though he is also living in that kingdom, he is coronating the king, but he would say that here behold, here is your king. So he's saying here is your king. So what about himself? So the Varnashram culture presents that the Kshatriya king is a king for general public. But for a Brahmana, he is not even controlled by the king also. So for the Brahmana, Soma, the moon god, is a king. The higher than the earthly king is a king for the Brahmanas. So in this, Brahmanas are given a higher position. Why? Because there is no need for Brahmanas to be governed by the Kshatriya class of people, a king, because Brahmana has already put himself under the control of the Shastras given by the great saints. So there is nothing much there for the king to control the Brahmana. Rather, the Brahmana gives vision to the king. So that's why technically Brahmana is not comes under the control of the king. But nevertheless, even though he has a superior position than the Kshatriya and the king, but the Brahmana himself puts himself under the austere situations, austere circumstances. He doesn't enjoy the world. Rather, he has more rules and regulation. From even simple things like the Brahmana's first meal, in general lifestyle of the Brahmanas, first meal he will take around 11:30, 12. The Vedic tradition, a Brahmana's first meal is 11:30, 12 like that. Why? In the morning he gets up and does his, the bodily cleansing jobs, and then he would do his collect ingredients for the pujas, and then perform his own spiritual duties. And he also does spiritual duties for the welfare of others. If there's a king, he does spiritual duties for him also. Then later he goes for begging, and around 11:30 is the first meal. So for a Brahmana, first meal is recommended after 11:30, 12 like that. It's a noon time. Even now also, most of the spiritual institution, the traditional institution, the meal will be there around 11:30, 12. Krishna also takes the Rajbhog, the nice time for the digestion like that. So first of all, for a Shudra, it is not that as soon as he gets up, he has to go for the field work. So before going for the field work, the farmer or whoever, they have to eat nicely, they can eat. So the more fasting is recommended for the Brahmana, or if any particular kind of inner species thing taken place, the contamination period for the Brahmana is more, but for others it is less. So in this way, at the same time, some facilities are also given. The milk from the Kapila cow cannot be taken by the other Varnas. The Brahmana has a complete right to that, because for his kind of job, for his kind of service, he requires that high class milk, and for the sacrificial purposes also. So in this way, the mischievous people, they only see these kinds of things. Oh, the milk of the cow is first right is for the Brahmanas. But for the Shudra, he cannot take the Kapila cow's milk. He can only, nowadays they say that, so you need a Vaishya to raise the cows, and you need a Shudra who will, remove the milk from the cow, and you need a Vaishya to put culture on the milk and make dahi. And who enjoys the milk and dahi? The Brahmanas. So in this way, the Brahmanas are subjugating the Shudras, Vaishyas and Kshatriyas. So in this way, they make all propaganda, but they do not understand how the Brahmanas have taken a voluntary austerity regarding eating, regarding he sleeps less, he eats less, he fasts the more, he has a more amount of austerities. Even a simple thing, the contamination period is more. So all these difficulties he takes also, and for that, for the lifestyle to be supported, he has given some facilities also. But in this age of Kali, the miscreant, they see only the facilities what has been given to the Brahmanas, and they degrade and they create allegation that these are all exploitative people. Nevertheless, this Brahminical, so the Brahmanas are not controlled by the king, but they are themselves controlled by the Shastra themselves. So for those who are not put themselves under the control of the Shastra, they will be controlled by the Shastra, by the kings. So That's why being a Kshatriya, being a king, is actually the greatest pleasure in the material world. Of all the four Varnas, uh, ashramas, a king, a Kshatriya king enjoys maximum in this world. He can have unlimited, sense enjoyment. According to Dharmic principles, he can marry many wives, he can have a great palatial building, he can stay in the palatial building, take so much of gold, and he can levy tax on the people, Dharmic way, and he can enjoy. So he has a responsibility, also same time nice enjoyments also. So that's why king is considered as a epitome of enjoyment in the material world. That's why saints or sannyasis, they try to avoid seeing the king. So even Krishna also prefers to take avatar mostly as a Kshatriya. Krishna, Ram, most of the incarnation of Krishna are Kshatriya. So why? Because a Kshatriya means they'll be more colorful kind of, like people like to hear the heroism, heroic things, So Krishna appears practically as a Kshatriya, even though he took birth in a Vaishya family. And Ram appears as Kshatriya. So, of course, some incarnations like Vamana Dev, he comes and he does his job in few hours and goes back, But if you're a Kshatriya, you can do a lot of pastimes. So Krishna prefers. So in this way, a king is supposed to protect the dharma, and the Brahmana is supposed to protect the dharma. But here Prabhupada says, but in this age of Kali, these same people becomes the offenders of the Brahmanas. So Vyasadeva here is telling that even though it is a situation of negativity, but he's giving the positive understanding that being a Brahmana, he has so much of rules and regulation, but this age of Kali, the Brahmanas are misgiving. They are giving up their duties and they are posing themselves as spiritualists. And even if they sincerely want to follow spiritual life also, it is very difficult to be a Brahman in this age of Kali. So that's why being a Shudra is more preferable, more easier in Kali. So he says Shudra Sadhu. Vyasadeva says Shudras. Why? Because a Shudra, nowadays in the outside world, the word cannot be used. It's considered as a, they can put a lawsuit also. But nevertheless, we are just in this assembly. So the fourth Varna, the Chaturtha person also is more fortunate because for him there is not so much duties. What he has to do is assist the other three Varanikas, and they are supposed to perform their duties. So when they perform their duty, he is supposed to assist them. In this way, he get benefited. But even in this age of Kali, the other three are struggling: the Brahmanas, Vaishyas, and Kshatriyas. But if a person is just assisting them, and he is done his part, he is doing his duty. So for him, the benefits are more easy. So that's why Vyasadeva says that the Shudra Sadhu, Stri Sadhu, in the Vedic custom, that the husband, the man has more responsibility. Most of the time, the Shastras give injection as, dharmasya swanishita pumsam, pumsa, purusha. So most of the instruction are directed towards male like that. It appears like that. But actually, there's the Acharya says that the Purusha is not necessarily all the time refers to the males only. Purusha means Puri Tishtati iti Purusha. Puri means city. So this body is also a city of 9 doors. So a person who resides in the Puri, in the body, is also called Purusha, who enjoys. So in this way, a woman is also can be called as Purusha, because everybody, we are all sitting in this body and we are trying to enjoy this city of 9 gates. So everybody is Purusha in that sense here. The Purusha Bhava is there. Actually, constitution, we are all in the position of Stri or a woman who is, but the artificial imposition is that everybody is enjoyer here. So in that sense, from the viewpoint of Bhava, everybody is Purusha, and staying in this material body, everybody is Purusha. So, so in that way, the Shastras are giving injection for both male and female, that how one should be very careful in living in this world. But nevertheless, even if you consider Purusha as directing towards the male, he has more responsibility, higher responsibility, and in fact, there is a lot of leniency given to the fair sex. They don't have to do so many difficulties undergoing. For example, if the Vedic custom to see the life of a boy, a lot of austerities. At the age of 6 or 7 years, to leave home. First principle of Vedic education is that stay away from parents at the age of 7. In the modern education, you are pampered in the home because father and mother cannot be very strict with their own kids. To wake up in the morning, very difficult for them, you know. So, but if you go, if you are put in, we are sent out of the home, and you go to the forest in the house of a teacher. The teacher can force, because teacher doesn't have that kind of a sentimental affection towards the kid. So for him, and the kid also would not mind if the teachers become strict with him, because he is not my father, mother. So that kind of arrangement is made. So he is being trained nicely over there. So as a boy, he has to leave the home at the age of 7, stay under the guru's place, Gurukula, and do menial services. And we hear Krishna Balram, they did that. We hear all the great Kshatriyas, even the sons of the kings, they had to go and do all these austerities. But girls, not a problem, just stay in the home with the parents and, had a very good life. And you don't have to do so much austerity, just play and learn some household things. And also education is given. They are not bereft of education. So, and this lifestyle is very heavy lifestyle. And then, as a male, you have to perform so many austerities, so many vratas, so many other things, and you have to mentally also, physically also work hard. These things are not meant for them. They only assist the husband, and by that they'll easily get benefited. So, whatever piety a husband gets, part of the piety automatically goes to the wife. And whatever piety wife gets, everything she can enjoy, doesn't have to share with the husband. So in this way, if we really speak, they are given a lot of facilities, but people don't understand that, and the so-called independent things. But it is. In fact, one of the symptom of Kali is that the most valuable things, the brahmanas, women, and the cows, they are not protected. The most valuable things are in the name of independence, like a diamond, your gold, where you will keep it in safely in the locker, not in an open space. So it's a protection is given. So protection, they understand this as a curbing their independence. So this is the nonsense propaganda by which they're actually exploited, and so that's why the Vyasadeva says three sadhu. So they are actually in a superior position. Then of course Kali sadhu. Why? In this age of Kali, the religious principles are very difficult, but because you are in this age, a difficult age, that even if you perform a spiritual practice, which is very simple, you will reap the benefit of what you will do in more difficult way in other ages. So in this way, Kali sadhu, he said, So in fact, in this age of Kali, the advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Anarpita Charim Chirat Karunaya Avatirana Kalau Samarpayitum Munnadojjula Svabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundar Dvitikatam Sandipitaha Sada Hridaya Spuratuva Sachinandanaha. So Mahaprabhu, in this age of Kali, it is such a most degraded age. But he gave the Anarpita Charim Chirat for years together, for a long time, that which is not been offered. Chirat, But Anarpita, it was not offered, but he is giving that. Anarpita Charim Chirat Samarpayitum, but he is offering. So that which is not offered before, and he is offering that now. Karunaya, mercifully. That's why Samarpayitum, not even Arpayitum. Samarpayitum means which is with a special indication. He is offering it wholeheartedly. Samarpayitum. Unnata Ujjvala, and that, why it is very rare? Because that which is not even known in other ages, even the demigods doesn't understand. Mahaprabhu is offering that in this age of Kali. So something very, very unique, very sublime. How can you offer in this worst age? So that way, Vyasadeva foreseen, this age of Kali is more fortunate age, because Mahaprabhu is offering the rarest gift. We are nearing Gaur Purnima. So what is that gift? He offered the love for Krishna following in the footsteps of the gopis. Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayaha Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachit Upasana Vrajavado Vargena Ya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Shriman Mahaprabhu Matamitam Tatradharona Paraha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamitam. So this is like a every sampradaya have their own what do you call this, aphorisms or main teachings. So for the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya devotees, this is like our lifeline. What is essence? Mahaprabhu's teachings. This particular one, Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya. So the bhakti unto the Krishna, who is a darling of Vrindavan, who is a son of the king of Vraja, Nanda Maharaj's son. So that he is our worshipable Lord. And Tadhama Vrindavanam, not only Krishna, Krishna's residence, Krishna's place, Vrindavanam is also worshipable. In the material world, we discriminate between what we use and people who are using that, People who are using the human beings considered higher than the objects they use. But in the spiritual world, Krishna and Krishna's planet, they are non-different. They are equally worshipable. Why there is a discrimination here? Because materially speaking, if there is a stone or there is a wood or a table, it doesn't have any knowledge. But the human beings have knowledge. So there is a difference between the living entity and the material thing. That's why the living entity is also called as Purusha. Purusha means what? That he can actually rule the matter. The body is like a city, and he can rule the city. That's why it's called Purusha. But the matter cannot do that because it doesn't have intelligence or knowledge. Sometimes we see, even if you drive in the vehicle, you have a GPS system. So the system can give you more knowledge than somebody on the street. He may be confused, go to left or right. But the GPS will tell you where to go, what to do. It has more, a laptop, a computer have knowledge. So how can you say a human being is superior to a computer knowledge, even though they also have knowledge? So that's why it is said that what discriminates a material thing from the living being is that not just knowledge, because even the computer has knowledge, but the awareness that I have a knowledge. That is what discriminates between. If we give example, if a camera is watching a painting and the human being is watching, what is the difference? The camera is also seeing, human being is also seeing, but what is missing in the camera and the human being is that the human being have emotions. He awares that I am watching a beautiful painting, but the camera cannot do that. So the awareness. So that's why in the Shastra they say that the material objects can only reveal themselves to others. Parasme prakashaha. Just like if there is a book is there, the book cannot reveal itself to us. The sunlight is given, we can read the book. So the book letters are revealing themselves to us with the help of the sun, with the help of our eyes. So they can only reveal themselves to others. But the living entities are like the sun, the light. The light not only reveals things in the dark room, but also it reveals itself, isn't it? To see the light, do you need to have another light? Or to see the sun, do you need another sun? So that's why it's called as Parashmaya Prakashaha. It can also reveal itself to others also. It reveals itself and also reveals other things. So living entities are like that. So that's why the jivas, living entities, are called Purusha, and the material things are called as Apurusha. Apurusha means non-Purusha. In a negative sense, the living beings are higher than them. But then higher than if we're all Purushas, then Krishna is also Purusha. Krishna is also knows everything. He also reveals himself. He also aware of himself. So what is the difference? So that's why to discriminate Krishna from the rest, Krishna is called as Utpurusha. The Bhagavad Gita says Krishna is higher than the ordinary Purushas. Why? We can forget things. Our knowledge is limited, but Krishna is superior to us because Krishna's knowledge doesn't diminish. So Krishna is liberated. He is not in the pangs of these material miseries. So that's why Krishna is higher than the ordinary Purushas, Utpurusha. But even the personalities who is getting liberated, so they are also not in the clutches of Maya. So how Krishna can be superior to them also? That's why Krishna is not just Utpurusha. He is beyond that. is called Uttara Purusha. Why? Because the Jiva who gets liberated, he just got liberation now. Previously he was bound, but Krishna is not like that. Krishna is always liberated. That's why it's called as Uttara Purusha. Okay, but what about the always liberated jivas who are in the spiritual world, such as Vaikuntha, Garuda is there, Ananta is there, Sakshana is there. In the spiritual world, so many other planets in Ayodhya and Goloka Vrindavan, so many associates of Krishna are there. Is it Krishna equal to them? No, Krishna is higher than them also. That's why Krishna is called as Uttama Purusha. So the 5 things, Sripad Ramanujacharya explains. The matter is called Apurusha because it doesn't have knowledge. But the Jivas are Purusha. Why? They have understanding, knowledge. But beyond Jiva, Krishna in the third category, if you say, there are liberated souls, Purushas. But the liberated souls also, higher than liberated souls are those who never came in touch with this material world, always liberated, Nitya Siddhas. They are called Uttara Purushas. But Krishna is beyond these 4 categories, Uttama Purusha. So if you say in the Vedic scripture, the thumb is considered as, Paramatma, Krishna. So these 4 things are there before that. So first thing is material objects, Apurusha. Second is the living entities in general, they are called Purushas. And higher than the living entities, those who are liberated, they are called Ut Purushas. Higher than the liberated souls are the eternal liberated souls, Uttara Purusha. And higher than that is the 5th one called Purushottama, Uttama Purusha. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is beyond, who is higher than these below mentioned 4 categories. That's why Krishna in the Gita he says, Uttama Purushastanya Paramatmeti Samahitaha. So Krishna is beyond Dvabhamo Purushaloke Ksharakshakshara Evacha. There are Akshara and Akshara, but Krishna is called as Uttama Purusha, is beyond all these other categories. So this Uttama Purusha Krishna, who is beyond the touch of the fault of this material world, fault of any doshas, can be accessed even in the worst of the age. That's why Mahaprabhu is, Kaviraj Goswami is saying that if you want to understand Mahaprabhu's mercy, you just try to analyze Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, if you want to be wonderstruck, you try to analyze Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. You will be faint in ecstasy. You can't even comprehend that you will faint in ecstasy. Why? Because in this age of degraded age, Mahaprabhu is giving that access to the Uttama Purusha, who is none other than the son of Nanda Maharaj, Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya. So this kind of discrimination, Apurusha and Purusha are different in the material world. But in spiritual realm is concerned, even apparently, Apurusha means the city, the ocean, the mountain, and the table chair, what you use. These are all non-sentient beings, lower. But in the spiritual world, in Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan, the trees, Jamuna, the cows, are at least we can see the living entity, we can say. Even the mountains and the creeper, they are all equally Chinmaya, because they are all in the same category of Krishna's category. So that's why there is no difference. So Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya Tad Dhama Vrindavanam. So Vrindavanam is also equally worshipable like Krishna. In the material world, if somebody is attached to their birthplace, it is considered as it is condemned in the Shastra, Yat Tirtha Buddhe Shalilena Karkichit, attached to, this is my place, I born here. This is how long you'll be born there. This life is over, you are born in next life in some other place. So this is considered as a wretched and material, condemned in a material way. But in the spiritual world, that attachment to Krishna's is glorified. But somebody attached to Krishna's place, that they are even more glorified actually. In a very funny way, it is the kind of interesting way it is explained that Krishna in Vaikuntha, he got bored of being in Vaikuntha. Why? Because Bhrigu Maharshi came and kicked on the chest of Narayan. So Mahalashi became angry with Bhrigu and Narayan because Narayan did not react to Bhrigu and he kicked on his chest. So Narayan's wife Mahalakshmi left, she came to Kolhapur here. So Narayan is feeling in Vaikuntha that he is missing, Lakshmi. So he was not feeling happy over there. For him, Vaikuntha became like a I know, like for him, he felt Vaikuntha is like a worst place. So he left Vaikuntha. Shri Vaikuntha Viraktaya, and where he came, Swami Pushkarani Tate. He came to the banks of Swami Pushkarani, Ramaya Ramamanaya. And he came there hoping that he will get the hand of Rama or Lakshmi back. So he was enjoying, he came from Vaikuntha to become happy in Tirupati. Ramaya Ramamanaya Shri Venkateshaya Mangalam. So then, so later, many thousands of years later, Sripad Ramanujacharya was going to Tirupati Balaji temple. And then when he was going there, he was not able to find the way to Tirupati Balaji temple. So he asked somebody who is the fourth Varnika, who was taking some water from the well. And the Shudra, he was been asked, where is the way to go to Tirupati? So he only just shows the path. And the disciples comes back and tell Ramanujacharya that he is telling us answer, this is the way to go to Tirupati. So Ramanujacharya paid obeisances to him. So even though he is glorified as Manimandapa Margadhayi, that Ramanuja is a person who showed everybody the path to spiritual world, but he is paying obeisances to this Shudra. So disciples are wondered, you are a sannyas, you are a Brahmana, in the Varna also you are superior, Ashram also you are superior, but you are paying obeisance to a Shudra who is lowest in all the social and spiritual rung. How can you do this? So he said that like he has shown me the path towards spiritual world. Even the great saints are waiting that they will be taken, they want to take birth even as a tree in Tirumala, and to such place he is showing me, so he is my guru. So the Acharyas, they make a comment over there that all the great saints, even the Nitya Siddhas, they are all hankering that we want to take birth in any form in Tirumala, even as a small grass also. So by glorifying this holy place, one Acharya is commenting, so any form, even a form of a grass, creeper or a stone, that's why Balaji also decided to be in any form. He's staying here in the deity form over there, So now the dichotomy is that whether Holy Dham is glorified because Lord is present there, or Lord is glorified because He is present in Holy Dham. Now if you put this equation, it's a very tricky one. So Tirupati is glorified because Balaji is present there, or Balaji is glorified because he is present in Tirupati. So the Acharya says that all the saints are hankering that they want to be even as an ant or a creeper in Tirumala. That's why Lord also want to be there. He become a deity over there. He is there in the form of a deity over there because Tirupati is very great, So in the spiritual equation, Krishna is great or a holy dham is great. It's very tricky to tell that, So even he left Vaikuntha and came to Tirumala. Means so Tirumala is more glorified than Vaikuntha. So like that, if here the glory of Krishna is great or Golok Vrindavan is great, so it's very tricky. Because if Krishna leaves Vrindavan in Mathura, he doesn't leave, of course. Rasikas will be angry with me. But even if we consider Mathura, Dwaraka, Krishna is there, but we are not. The devotees of Vrindavan, they are not interested. They want Krishna to come back to Vrindavan. That means Krishna, Vrindavan is glorified more than Krishna, their attachment to Vrindavan. So Tadhama Vrindavanam. Materially, a place of birth is considered, attachment to the place of birth considered condemned. But spiritually, the place of Krishna's pastimes are even more glorified than Krishna. So Tadhama Vrindavanam. So Mahaprabhu is giving the highest place in the worst place, and the highest understanding in the worst time, that is Kali. So in essence, that even though we can be very negative about in this age of Kali, when we read this particular chapter dealing with Parikshit Maharaj and the age of Kali, is sometimes very negative things it can create. So we had to be positive in the sense, in that one sense, we are fortunate to be here in this time, Mahaprabhu's appearance, this 28th Kali Yuga, just 500 years before, in the presence of Srila Prabhupada pastimes, and the legacy is there. So one thing is that we can feel fortunate and be positive about it. And second thing is that not only we will just be positive about it and think ourselves fortunate, but also we should follow in the footsteps of Parikshit Maharaj, that tackling this age of Kali, so the best defense is offense. So Mahaprabhu's request is that come and join me in in dealing with this age of Kali. So if you are swimming against the current, at least you will be able to stay in a place, So here, Mahaprabhu is giving us those equipments by which we can not just struggling to swim against the current. Actually, we can fly against the current. But for that, what we need is that take the armor. What is armor? Mahaprabhu given us. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. Taking the process of Mahaprabhu is giving, chanting of the holy name and accepting the spiritual master, and not only taking the holy name and enjoying, but giving to others. We recently celebrated book distribution marathon. Srila Prabhupada, one time he spoke to Rameshwar Maharaj. He said that printing the books is like a Vaidhi Bhakti, and distributing the books is the Raga Bhakti or Prema Bhakti. So the Vrindavan mode is distribution. And Srimati Radharani always happy that others are given to Krishna. Others, he wants always others to be close to Krishna. In fact, I'll just stop with this. That to understand the mood of the Vrindavan, one time in the Radha Krishna pastime, Srimati Radharani wanted one of the gopis to get the association of Krishna. So she purposefully told one of her girlfriend that I lost my bangle in one particular bush. So can you go and find that out? And previously she told Krishna that one such girl will be there and you give your association to her. So Radharani tells Krishna cannot say no. So then this innocent girl, her mistress is Srimati Radharani. So she went to find out her mistress bracelet. So she was anklet, sorry. She was trying to find that out, and she was trying to find that. And but it was not actually that. It was like a match fixing. So she goes there to find out, and suddenly she encounters Krishna, and then she comes after a long time, and she feels very shy. Oh, I supposed to serve my mistress, but I am having the association of Krishna, and my mistress is waiting. So when she came, Srimati Radharani started making fun of her. Oh, you are searching for my anklet for such a long time. You must be working very hard and sincerely you are searching for such a long time. And I am seeing a lot of bruises on your body. You must have seen in all these thorny bushes very sincerely for my anklets. You are so dear to me. You are so loving and you are so sincere. And this girl was very shy and put her head down. And she is feeling that I supposed to serve her, but she did like this to me. So and Srimati Radharani is enjoying the fun, and how Krishna gave her the association. And so this is a mood. Of course, this is very historic pastime. But the understanding is that she is very happy when others get the association of Krishna, and she doesn't want herself to be all the time on the top. So Srila Prabhupada says that the Vrindavan mood is that we enjoy happiness in giving Krishna to others more than we enjoy ourselves, So in that way, Prabhupada said that distributing Prabhupada books or distributing Krishna Katha and reading his books are like Raghanuga Bhakti, and printing is like a Vaidhi Bhakti, So that kind of a mood. So even though we are in this age of Kali, we can still enjoy the mood of Vrindavan by giving Krishna to others. Not only giving, first understanding and relishing Krishna, and simultaneously when we give Krishna to others, we will be untouched by this dangerous age of Kali. Hare Krishna. So I'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granth Raj Bhagavatam ki jai.